This might be one of the last rides of the year. Let's do it. I know I mentioned this a couple of times, but I had to re-register the vehicles in this new state, and it's kind of been a major pain.
You gotta be somebody needs some killing.
You know, you gotta get your new driver's license, and you gotta transfer the title of each vehicle, and that costs money. So by the end of it, it's probably like $500 to do 2 cars and a motorcycle. After you transfer the title and get them registered in this state, you have to go and get them inspected. And I was looking all over for a place to inspect the bike, so if you Google somewhere to go, you're really not going to find anything because it's so country around here. And what I ended up doing is I found a dealership, which turned out to be a BMW dealership, and they had like brand new 2018 R1200 GS's lined up. Danger. Those things looked so good, and the dashboards on them were like from outer space. It was incredible. And like the way that the controls were on like a little ring, and you'd spin the ring and press the ring one way or another to select something. I've never seen anything like that. The BMW dealership was about an hour away, so there I hit a little traffic, so it was more than an hour. And when I got there, I'm like, oh yeah, get it inspected. And I'm like, okay, cool. And the technician walks out to my bike, looks at it for a second, and turns completely around and comes back in. He flags me down. He's like, so you know those turn signals on the front and the back are completely illegal, right? He's like, what now? Oh boy. Little dog walk mobility scooter action? Can't say I've seen that before. So anyway, the dude was like, do you have the old mirrors? I'm like, yes. It's like, okay. He goes, tell you what, I'll put a sticker on them, and when you get home, he goes, it's your choice. If you get pulled over, you can tell them that you switched them and you had no idea. It's like, okay, deal. So here we are. So I came back home, then I made an appointment to get the other 2 vehicles done. And I took my wife's car in because it's basically brand new, and I knew that one was going to pass with no problem. But as hers was getting inspected, some lady came into the tire shop. Oh, hey, I've got a crack in my windshield, and I was wondering if I needed to get that fixed before I get my vehicle inspected. And I perked up because I knew that I had a crack in my windshield. He's like, well, how bad is it? She goes, well, it's just kind of a little chip, but it's in front of the driver, so I don't know, you'll have to look at it. As luck would have it, my vehicle had a crack that went from basically the driver's side all the way across. So I made appointments for each vehicle on the same day because the place was only about a mile from my house. I was like, hey, tell you what, cancel my appointment for later because I've got a crack in the windshield, I'm gonna need to get it fixed. So I go and get that fixed, and I actually went today and got that done. It took me a little while to get everything wrapped up because in between we had Halloween. And my wife had a pretty good idea. She dressed the kid up as an old woman. So I made a walker out of PVC pipe, and we got those little, like, small dog tennis balls and put those on the bottom. And it was hilarious. But since it's so rural around here, when you trick or treat, you get in your car and then you just go to everybody's house that you know. But the good thing about being so rural around Halloween when everybody's trick-or-treating is that a couple of our friends picked up a trend, and they call it lick-or-treating, where you get a designated driver and you jump on a hay rack that's pulled by a tractor, and you go to everybody's house and everybody has a different kind of drink, and then you spend the entire night riding on a hay rack drinking booze. I mean, lick-or-treating on a hay rack behind a tractor is pretty hillbilly. It's so hillbilly that one of the people who lives around here was like, oh hey, if you're ever around early in the morning, we can go get coffee when those guys are done doing chores on the farm. He goes, have you ever met my Uncle Merp? I was like, what was his name? He's like, Merp. Merp is not a name. Merp is a sound that you use when you're trying to make fun of someone. With Halloween over and we're in November, we've got an unusually warm day today, so I bundled up and got out for a ride and figured I'd squeeze one more video in here. Which brings another question. How late in the year do you guys ride? Do you have a set date that you put the bike away, or is there a certain temperature or something? Because to me, so I do like to ride until it's moderately cold outside. I like to put as many miles on the bike as I can, but I don't cancel the insurance completely. I just dumb it down so that if my house burns down and my bike's in the garage, that the bike's still covered. But I will have to say is that if I had heated grips on this thing, I could probably squeeze out a little more time, or at least I'd be a little more comfortable when I ride. But going back to the beginning, getting this bike inspected and being at that BMW shop, I did spend an awful lot of time looking at those R1200 GSs. There was even a guy in there, he was picking up tires, he's picking up snow tires for his motorcycle. Like, so you're just coming in to pick up tires? Like, yeah. And he walks out. I was expecting him to throw the tires in the back of a truck. No, he bungeed them to the back of an R1200 GS and just took off. It would be nice to have that wind protection and those heated grips and cruise control and off-road capabilities. I'd definitely be able to use that around here, or at least be able to goof off around here. I use it to go on that washed out road that I went on the other day. Nope, that's not pavement. Oh, it's not pavement. It was definitely not pavement. One nice thing about the Panigale, though, it does keep you nice and warm, like right, it's kind of high center, you know what I mean? Maybe low center. We'll say low center. I suppose that's enough for me. So, until next time, lick or treat.